Alright, so this is my parts car and I need to move it. I'm going to share with you the experience of seeing whether I can actually start this car up. So what do I need to do to be able to achieve this seemingly impossible mission? Well, first of all, I'll get it out from under its cover and see what the damage is. Well, that's definitely a tyre that needs a bit of air. Same with this one over here. So the state of this car is, as you can see, quite dilapidated. I'll take the bonnet off and have a look under there, but for now, first thing I'm going to do is get some air into these two tyres. It's always good to have one of these portable compressors, even though I've got a full-size compressor in the garage. It doesn't quite do the job of a fully mobile piece like this, which can be picked up and moved around wherever, taken on holidays, etc. I'm not going to push my luck by pumping these up really high. I think 25 psi is plenty. This one's still holding 15 psi. It's actually coming up this way. And that can sit up on the roof there. Let's see, what we got in here? Slanted 2-litre inline 4-cylinder. Seen better days. A pair of Stromberg Zenith carbies. I'll get some electricity up to this, see if it'll crank. That's the first question. And if it cranks, then we can maybe chuck some fuel in it and see if it'll spark and fire. Alright, I'm going to plonk a battery into this thing and hopefully it doesn't catch fire or anything silly like that. And what have we got here? Negative this side. Fair bit of corrosion in that. Positive here. Alright. Looks like the cat's been enjoying this driver's seat here. Move this window out of the way. There's a good potential the spiders have been enjoying it in here as well. Anyway, let's give it a crank. See if there's any life. So there's something there. For now, I'm going to hook up my jump starter. It's a great invention, this thing. I'm working in very suboptimal conditions here, so I've got corroded battery terminals, a battery with unknown capacity to crank. Anyway, let's see. Alright, I've got some cranking action and the heater fan is going berserk inside there, running at full speed. But anyway, I'll see if I can get some fuel coming up through here. One advantage of not having a windscreen is being able to reach in and grab the ignition key from outside. I can see something's happening there, a bit of fuel moving. The state of this dashboard, it might be questionable. Oh yeah, that's worked. It might not be a bad idea to add a little bit extra fuel. I think giving it a bit of a squirt into the throttle bodies might be a bit helpful. Before I do, I'm going to give it another bit of a crank. I think if I remember rightly, there's actually a choke on the Strongberg Zeniths. Yeah, there is. There it is, right there. I'll give that a yank and see if that helps. It looks like I've pumped my jump starter out of juice. At this point in time, it's worth checking for a spark, because you can put as much fuel up to an engine as you like. If there's no spark, you're not going to be able to do too much with it. So I'll just position this screwdriver here, go around and crank it, and hopefully I actually have some spark happening. If it does, it should hopefully jump just across that gap there between the screwdriver and the rocker cover. I've bought some extra electricity in the form of my other jump starter. So I'm just going to check for a spark out of the ignition coil instead, which should give us 4 more chances to see a spark. There's definitely a spark there. I don't know if you saw the spark, but I didn't see the spark, but I certainly felt it. So what I'm going to do is get a little bit of go juice down in there. Alright, there's definitely some life. Now in terms of getting the fuel right in down there, you can lift up that little piston on the carburetor there. See if I can squirt that juice right down inside. Get a little bit more into this one as well. Give it a taste of what it wants, at least. I might actually get in there and give it some additional throttle, maybe, see how it goes. That's giving it a bit more of a spit. What I'm going to do now is give it a bit more fuel to play with. But I'm not going to mess around. I've got 15 litres here, 10 litres or whatever. I'm just going to chuck it all in. So it's been quite a while now. I've had the battery here on the charger, trying to get some more juice into it. I've still had no joy with this. Well, I think I'm pretty close. I've also gone and got a little helper here, a can of Start You Bastard. I'm hoping I'll get somewhere. Alright, I've got something happening here. It's going to move that timing a bit. Alright, and I've got an idle now, which is good. It's close, but it ain't happening. The clutch is not throwing far enough to disengage, so while I can get it to turn and run, I'm not going to be getting it to move until I can get that clutch freed up.